Hello friends, welcome back. Another episode of BigDenoPlays, Primal the Awakening. This is episode 4, chapter 3. Prologue, episode 1, yeah. So episode 4, chapter 3. Really enjoying this game. I can't stop thinking about it. So very excited to dive into this particular fight. If we go and have a look over here at our showdown, we are facing the Crab Man. Little crab monster. His name's Korowon. Korowon? It's called the Roar of the Sea. So, a powerful storm surge has hit the riverlands. Driven by the high tide, some monsters have made their way inland and destroyed the outpost in the region. As the search for survivors continues, the rescuers must be protected and the beast ravaging the area must be hunted down. So that is the one we're facing. As we nip down here, we do have a few little updates that we've made. So we have selected the Horn Wall and the Skeletal Spear, and we've purchased our Hatrox, Erden and Aylmore again. So no changes there, but we have changed our Mastery to Tactician, which is blue. Every time you play a blue card, place a counter on this card. So this is our C2 one, which is pretty fun. It's got some interesting play. So with our deck advantage that we have from having 2 bone, we have added another blue to try and increase our chances of playing our Tactician. And here we've picked up the Berserker, which is also the updated one. And we have actually upgraded to Spined Armor. So no change in health, but we can potentially hold it to 2 stamina tokens, which seems quite nice. And I believe we have added a red to this hand as well, because we have a deck advantage, because we have 2 bone cards. The Berserker, when your health becomes critical, place a counter on this card, flip it and rip it. It allows him to heal when he hits critical. So I think that's quite interesting. Korowon, from what I can see from these little cards that we've got here, he is all about advancing the round counter. So it's incumbent on Big Deno to actually remember to advance the round counter in this mission. So work with me here, work with me here. We'll do our best, but we make no promises. So Rampage card. Ooh, what do we got there? Water. Okay, so when a behavior card with water cycle is revealed, he heals for 3 damage. If you're in the rear sector and we place, well, that one hasn't come into play yet because it's only a stage 2. So 12 damage to do his wounds at the moment, and when he hits 6 health, it's when we flip down to stance 2. He is only exposed, not exposed in the front. So let's nip over to the books area because we've got some new terrain. We've picked up water, and we've also picked up another little plant as well. So Cyneria. At the start of your turn, if you're in a sector with this terrain, you may suffer damage equal to your weapon level to draw 1. Okay, that's pretty good. Water, while you're in a sector with this terrain, your sequence limit is 3. Doesn't prevent any card from increasing your sequence limit. You cannot place more than 1 water terrain. If you're instructed to place a water terrain, okay, so it'll spread water out around the map and reduce our sequences. So that's potentially not ideal. So we'll go over here to the monster area. So I've been thinking a lot about the game and making sure that I'm following all of the rules properly. There is a lot happening in this game, and to be able to manage 2 characters, ensure you're playing everything correctly, and then film and be engaging, it is a challenge. So if you see rules mistakes and you want to correct them, feel free. I'll do my best to edit them in to the Klingon Subtitles channel, but also we're not stressed about it. We just want to have a fun time. But we're not intentionally trying to forget rules. Splash at the start of a player's turn if that player is in a sector with water terrain. So we've got when the monster turns, Rampage, and if we start in a water terrain. So fortunately, we have no water terrains in our starting sector. We've got a rock and this, but we can't hit him in the front. Okay, well, let's game 2 struggle. And deal ourselves out some cards to start off this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think I missed anything. We finished the last one by doing all the stories and what have you, so we should be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's have a look here first, because he's going first. So we need to reveal blues from our hand to prevent the round marker from advancing at the start of round 1. There's blues in our hands. Great. So we want to play blues with our dude. Okay. Oh, this is going to be a promising start. So we're going to move. We're going to discard our feint. Do we want to take damage to... I think we might take damage to draw 1, actually. Yeah, so we're going to take level 1 damage over here because we're starting in the sector with this plant. That allows us to draw 1. And then we will move into this flank sector here, which is going to allow us to play some attack cards. But the thing we're most concerned about is actually playing some blue. So we're going to start with opening, which allows us to draw 2. And we're going to play that by paying this battle trance. So that removes a struggle for playing a blue. It also adds a token, a counter to our card, which is great. And we'll discard the top card of our deck to see if it's a red. It is a red, so we add it to our hand. And we have played that as our opening card, so we draw 2. It's a good start, Deno. We've got 7 cards in hand and we played 2, is that right? Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Now, because we're in a water terrain, we can only play 3 cards into our sequence. So we do need to think very carefully about this. Choose a player to reveal up to 2 and deal their weapon damage for each card. Let's play Golden Opportunity because it is one of my new cards. And I think that that would be good. And we will discard Concentrated Attack. So that is going to remove another blue. Choose a player to reveal up to 2 red cards from their hand and deal their weapon damage for each card they reveal this way. So we'll choose ourself, which we can do. Our weapon damage is 4, and so we have started off with 8, which is nice. I'm going to probably change these to the Marvel Champion trackers and see if that's better and easier to use. All right, promising start. We've already got the aggro, so he is going to turn to face us, which is fine. I think we want to play a defense card. So we'll play Rally, and we'll spend Outflank. So that is a defense card. We choose a player to draw 1 or immediately move without paying any stamina cost. So this is actually pretty interesting. I'll move immediately without paying any stamina cost, and I'll move into the rear sector, which means my sequence limit is back up to 5. So I can play another sequence limit. We've got 2 markers on our blue now. This is starting well, Deno. Let's go with Shielded Strike. No, we'll go with Shield Dance at a cost of 1 stamina, which is, we're going to spend using Rapid Dash. So that's going to do increase our damage by 3. So that's 7, which will take us to 15, which will do a wound and leave us with 3. So that is a good turn. So we've only got Shielded Strike in our hand. And that's it. So we've completed all of our actions, and then we will do our attrition step. So we've flipped a 1. We do have 1 yellow in our sequence, and so we do not suffer any damage. Good start, good start. So we're done. We discard all cards. We draw up to our hand size. Green, red. Then the monster turns to the aggro player, and that is going to trigger our first monster activation, which is this one, and it is. If there is a water terrain in the front sector, there is not. Cool. All right. Then we will trigger the rampage, which is Korowon gains 1 struggle for each player in a water terrain. None. All right, so it seems like this guy is all about controlling water. So at the end of our turn, we will jump on top of this, which allows us to cancel a card. So, all right, we go back to the start of the next turn. Okay, so Darion. There was no cards there that had water cycle, so remembering, Korowon heals 3 damage when a card with water cycle is revealed. Alright, our health is not critical. We don't want to inflict vulnerable necessarily at this point, because that attack, it's not going to be huge damage. Berserker, draw 1 or heal 1. So are we going to move? No. So we will take a threatened token. We're not going to move. We will suffer a damage to draw 1. And then we will also check to see if this is a red. And if this is red, we add it to our hand. No, so we discard that card. Okay. So I just need to check a rule. I may have been misplaying one of the rules. Berserker. When you play an attack card in your sequence. So the language, I was actually playing it right, I think. Let's have a look at this over here, actually. So, Berserker. When you play a card with this keyword in your sequence, you enter the Berserker state and remain in that state until the end of your turn. While in the Berserker state, draw 1 each time you play an attack card in your sequence. Now, if we go and have a look at the definition of cards here in the rulebook, which I know sounds a little bit obvious, the only thing that's an attack card is red. These are both offensive, so you only draw a card if you play a red card. Now, yeah, I've watched another player on YouTube play that, and they potentially have misplayed it, so I was second guessing myself, but I'm good. So we're going to play Aggressive Charge, which has Berserker. Let me see if I have an assist available. I do. Yeah, I will assist here. Aggro Strike. So that will allow us to draw a card. So I think... let's play Precise Strike. That attack's going to inflict vulnerable. We're going to spend this retreat, which I don't like doing, but that allows us to draw a card because it's an attack card. Pressing Strike. Okay. So that attack is going to deal 4, but because we have the Aggro Strike assist in play, increase the damage the attack deals by 4. No? Increase the damage. Yeah, no, I'm getting mistaken. There was another card. That's all. So it's just 4. Just 4. So 7. If we have a look over here, we now trigger this red. The active player becomes threatened. I'm already threatened. Throws a sector with water terrain. We are not. So that will go here. So we've got 7. We need to get 5 more wounds. So I can play this Pressing Strike, which allows me to draw 2. We have vulnerable in play. Now we don't need to trigger that just yet. Counter strike might be good. So we've taken the aggro. It's interesting. I really want to maximize the value of that vulnerable. So yeah, all right. We'll play pressing strike. That allows me to draw 2. And we'll play reactive guard and primal fury to draw 2. 1, 2. Okay, that's going to help us. So we'll then play berserker, which will do 4 and allow us to draw a card. So 4 and 7 is 11. So we just need 1 more. And we're going to do that with this. That's going to allow us to draw a card. That costs us 1. So we'll play counter strike. We are taking damage, but that's fine. Draw 1. We'll spend a damage on ourselves to add an extra 3. So that is going to be a total of 7, which we will then use our vulnerable to double into 14. So 1. So it takes us to 25. So 25, we'll do 1, 2, and leave 1 wound in position. So we have done 4 wounds in our first turn. 3 wounds in our first turn. We then end our turn with 3 cards in hand. We are, however, threatened, which means we are going to take, oh, it was a 3, so it was a good call anyway. 1 damage, but we do have 2 stamina because of our spined armor at the end of the action phase. So we now discard all cards from our sequence, draw back up to 5, and the monster turns to the aggro player. Done. Okay, so it's now the next round, so we're going to remember round. So we have our option to consume, and I think we'll be okay for the moment. We will be okay for the moment. We will not consume. So we then go on to monster upkeep. So we trash the lowest one of these, which is this. We place this one here, and then we add 2 struggle. We're not at the start of round 1, so we don't have to do that. We haven't revealed water cycle at all yet, so that was on that ocean rumble. And then we go on to player turns. That is then going to trigger this, because we're going to start with Darion, who is the aggro player and the first player. So that is going to trigger this card. And that tells us the active player suffers damage unless they discard a yellow from their hand. We do have a yellow, but taking 1 damage is not punishing for us just yet, because when our health becomes critical, we place a counter on the card. So we'll take a damage. Yep. All right, so we do have to move now. At the start of your turn, we will suffer damage because we're in that sector. Will allow us to draw a card, and then our health has become critical. We have 1 counter, so we flip. When focused, you may heal 1. We will heal 1, thank you. And when you enter the berserker state, our weapon has +2 damage. So we're now going to move. We're going to spend a stamina, because we have 2 stamina tokens, to move over here. And then final breath, nice. We don't have a berserker card. Let's have a look at this and see if it's a red. If it's a red, we get to take it into our hand. It's not. Do we have an assist in this round? We do not. We do have an assist for him. We're going over here because this is a new symbol that I think is, if you move, trigger after a player moves. So we have moved, so that is going to now trigger. So let's have a look. Korowon turns to the active player unless the top card, so when that happened it would have actually been this, which would have been fine. However, we're actually going to use our cancellation because we're standing on the plateau. So we're going to jump on the monster's back and we're going to cancel that card. This is what you're supposed to do, put him over here. Plateau, let's read it. When you cancel the effects of that behaviour card, and then we perform a riding check. So the riding check is quite simply, we flip one of these and reveal it. It's a 2. And then we reveal this card, and if it has a stamina cost of 2 or more, it does. We actually do damage to the monster equal to our weapon level as we're riding him. Yeah! Riding check. That's fun. Reveal the top card of the attrition deck and the top card. Compare them. If the stamina is equal or higher than the attrition value, deal your weapon damage and choose a sector on the board to place your miniature. Great. Discard both cards. So we will then discard that. That will go here. That will trigger a struggle because we've emptied this deck. Okay. We get to place him in any sector we want. So we will place ourselves in the front sector, over here. And that's all for that. So we still get to play a card now. We still get to play some cards. So our health is not critical. We can assist. Yeah, we don't have a lot of great options here. Have we revealed the 3? I feel like we did reveal the 3. So we just need to defend, probably. So yeah, we'll play this, and we'll spend our 1 stamina token. That allows us to remove a struggle as a red, which is cool, as a yellow, sorry. We'll just play Blind Rage. So we're going to take a wound to increase our weapon damage by 3. And then because we're in Berserker state, our weapon has +2 damage, which means that we have a total weapon damage of 9, which is very nice. Neither of those have the aggro symbol, so we haven't triggered this, and we're not starting in water. We didn't start our turn in water, sorry. So this is our 3rd and final card that we can play into our sequence. And our health is critical, so we'll play Final Breath. We'll discard Dragon Dash. And if your health is critical, that allows us to draw up to your hand size limit +1, 1, 2, 3, 6. That's going to take a wound. Okay, so he's done. He's ending his turn with 2 cards, or 6 cards in hand, so he's definitely going to gain stamina. He did move, so he's not threatened. We know this can't be a higher than a 2. We have 2 cards, so we don't suffer that. At the end of the attrition phase, we trigger this, and that is, if the active player is in a sector with water terrain, they are immediately captured unless they reveal a green from their hand. What the hell is captured? I have a green, thank goodness. What's captured? We didn't play any aggro, so wow, that was a cool turn. These changed masteries are really interesting, Okay, so we'll move over to Lejonar, who is starting in the front sector. He's not triggering any of these. He does have the option to take a damage, which he will, to draw a card, which he will. All right. I think we have an assist in play over here. Yeah, so we'll use that. We'll jumping slice to assist. That allows Lejonar to draw a card. All right. We'll play this blue. It's a waste of playing that blue, Deno. Let's play. So we're not going to move, so we're going to suffer a... Oh, we have to move. We have to move. Yeah, we'll use this green to move over here. No, that's I'm incorrect. He did have to turn to face the aggro at the end of the turn, so I was right in the first instance. So we'll play this. We're not going to move. We're going to suffer threaten. We're going to play that green, and we're going to spend this agility to do so, which allows us to draw a card. We'll then play Shield Block, which is completely free. And we'll then play Shielded Strike. We're going to discard Attack Plan to do that. So Shielded Strike, if we play a yellow followed by a red, remove 2 struggle, which we do. 1, 2. Increase the damage this attack deals by that, but we don't have that mastery. So that is just going to be a normal 4 damage. However, damage by any source is increased by 1, so that's 5. So we've triggered the next stage. So we take off 12. We have 1 wound down. So we're now going to advance this. We've still got 2 cards in hand, and we still have the option to play those, but let's have a look. When this stance is active, you cannot convert damage into wounds. Okay, that seems good. At the end of the round, Korowon heals half the damage it currently sustains. All right. All right. And then if you're in the rear sector, place a counter. When there are 4 counters on this card, advance to stance 3 and can remove this card from the game. All right. Well, cool. We're gonna stop our turn there. So we're going to keep 2 in hand. So we're gaining a stamina. We're flipping 2, which will be fine because we played 2 defense cards. That last one was an aggro, so he will turn to face Lejonar. We actually have to trigger this. If the active player is in the front sector, Korowon gains 1 struggle. He is not. Korowon turns to the active player unless that player discards a blue from their hand. We're fine with that. He's going to turn to face us anyway, so that's okay. We then trigger this rampage, so he will gain 1 struggle. So tidal wave. Okay. So it's the end of the turn. So we start the next round, and I'm going to remember to move the round tracker. Boom. We do monster refresh. So we're going to go here, Gonna add 2 struggle, 1, 2. And we now have an option, consume happens first. So I think we will consume our Hatrox here, which will give us a damage, but that will add +3 to our weapon damage for the round. We do need to draw back up. 1, 2, 3. Taking another damage. I actually might retract that decision because I haven't got very many attack cards in hand, so I've got 0 attack cards, so we will not Hatrox. Over here, do we want to heal? I don't think we do. Ugh. Yep, so we'll call it there. So Lejonar is first. Sorry, did I do monster refresh? I did, yes. So we are starting and we're triggering this one. The active player, which is Lejonar, suffers unless he discards a yellow from his hand. We'll actually take the damage. It is only 1 damage still, so we're fine with that. And when you suffer damage, you may discard from your card from this hand to deal 3 damage. We'll do that. 1, 2, 3. So we're at 4. We're going to play Tempo, remove a struggle. We're going to play Bulwark, remove a struggle. We're going to spend a stamina token for that. We're still threatened. See if our health is critical. No. Do we want to discard a card from the top of the deck? No, we're fine. Yep. So that's it. So we've played another blue, and then we're increasing the struggle. This removes by 1. So we played 2 blues. That's going to flip our Tactician card. And let's have a look at this because it looks fun as heck. While you're in the front sector, all monsters' sides are considered to be exposed, which we are. When I play a blue, choose a sector, players in that sector may immediately draw 1 or immediately move without paying stamina. So that is such an awesome ability. That is so good. So good. Okay. We know this is going to trigger a wound. It does. We take another damage. We're now 5. We do have to flip 2 because we're threatened. We're still fine. He's already facing us, and so we're done. We discard all cards from our sequence. We draw up 1, 2, 3. And then do we have an assist? We do. So we'll think about that. We're now going to trigger starting a turn in a water terrain. So we're triggering both of these. So let's have a look at the first one. Water cycle. So he's going to heal for 3. 1, 2, 3. Korowon gains 2 struggle. The active player will suffer damage unless he reveals a green from his hand. Fortunately, we do have a green. Swift dodge. And that's it. And then we will refill this one here. We trigger this one. Korowon turns to the active player. That player suffers damage unless they reveal a yellow from their hand. We have a yellow. It's a good turn. No water surge on that one. However, we're gaining a struggle because the deck has emptied. That one actually should have stayed there because as soon as the deck emptied, we shuffle this. I want to play a moves. Because he turned to the active player, we're also now triggering this one. If there is water terrain in the front sector, each player suffers damage unless they reveal the yellow from their hand. So we have done that. Reveal the yellow. Fun. All right, we're going to move out of that sector with water onto the plateau sector. However, we're going to take a damage because we started our turn in that. So we move to there. All right, now we're finally going to get an opportunity to use an ability that I haven't used at all, and now I'm starting to understand it. All right, Taunt. Boom. While this card is on top of your discard pile, all other players have a weapons damage have +1. However, Taunt says, during another player's turn, you may taunt the monster by discarding a card. If you do, the active player draws 1, you take the aggro token, and the monster immediately turns to your sector. So what we've done by doing that is we've now opened up the ability to play red cards in the rear sector. Let's have a look and see if we have a red on top. We don't. That's a shame. Do we have an assist as well? Oh. Yeah, we'll actually do it. We'll do it in a slightly different order. So we'll assist as well. Okay. So Berserker, we're going to trigger first. So that's going to remove a struggle. Boom. We'll actually do this. Move. Starts the move. Korowon turns to the active player unless the top card of that player's discard pile is a combat one. It is. So that's fine. Okay, so we've entered the Berserker state, so we heal 1. So we'll play a Precise Strike, which inflicts vulnerable. That costs us 3 stamina. So we'll discard this blue and 1 stamina to do 6 damage. 1, 2, 6. And we place a counter on that card. We also draw a card, which is a red. We'll play Double Slash, discarding this quick attack. So Double Slash is a red, so that's going to be another 6 damage. This is looking good. This is looking good. And when you discard this card from your hand, deal your base weapon damage. So that's another 4. We've played another red in the rear, so we add another token to that. Before that one happens though, we do have to trigger this. The active player becomes threatened, so we're just taking a threaten. That's fine. That doesn't trigger, that doesn't trigger, that doesn't trigger. We may trigger that aggro one with Wrath of Blood. We played another attack card, so we'll draw 1. We'll do Wrath of Blood. Our health is critical. We'll spend a damage to do another another big swing. So that's going to be 4, 6, plus 5 is 11, plus 3 is 14, so that's 28. And we'll trigger our vulnerable to, trigger our vulnerable. So do 28 damage. 5, 1, 2, 3. Seems fine. That is a lot of damage there, Deno. So that's 40, and those are 5s. We're at 45 damage. He's about to halve that. Oh. And then we're going to finish off. That allows us to draw a card. We're going to finish off with a Guardian Blade, which is a yellow. We're going to spend these 2. I didn't have to pay a stamina for that one, but that's fine. So, Guardian Blade, the end of your action phase, choose another player to draw 3 cards for each aggro in your sequence. 1, 2, 3. So we did have to trigger this aggro. If the active player is in the front sector, he's not. Otherwise, Korowon turns unless that player discards a blue. We can't discard a blue, but that's okay because we can still play this one. He goes to there. We still play that. That's the end of our turn. So we've got one card. So let's trigger this. It is a 1. So we have defended that successfully. And we now trigger this. Attrition 1. If the active player is in a sector with a water terrain, we are not. So we put a rampage, we add a struggle because we've cycled through the deck. Felt like we've played a pretty good round so far. Pretty good round. Okay, so that's the end of the round. He is facing us with our aggro. Boom. That goes there. So I think we will, at this point, heal using the Aylmore. So we'll heal 2. Draw up. 1, 3. At the end of the round, Korowon heals half the damage it currently sustains. So 45, so it's going to have 23. 40, 23. Yuck. Yucky, but we do only need to play one more red card in its rear to trigger that. So, start a turn, consume. We will consume over here for Lejonar, the Hatrox. So we're going to gain 1 to increase our weapon damage. We'll also, yep, no, that's fine. So Hatrox consumed. Behavior refresh, this one goes away. This one appears here. We add 2 struggles, sorry. So we've got 5 struggles, so we do need to be aware of that. And we're on to round 4. We're starting with Darion. He's starting in the front sector, but he is on this. So we can cancel this if we want to. The active player suffers damage unless they discard a yellow from their hand. We have a yellow. Yeah. We'll discard. Actually, we won't discard a yellow. We'll just take the damage. We go to 6. And then we'll reveal this resilience, which allows us to draw a card. Okay. I'm going to rampage. So we will cancel. No, we won't cancel that. So we've fallen off this. We are going to move with our threaten. But we're going to start by playing a blue. So these new mastery cards have completely changed the way I'm playing these guys. So it's Berserker. We'll discard 1. Did I already move? You know, we're going to discard 1 to move. Yep. Discard 1 to move over to here. Play the blue. So that allows us to draw 1 or heal 1. So we will draw 1. So that does another wound because we've reached the end of our deck. Yep, so that's fine. We're then going to play Battle Cry. So that's going to do, when we enter the Berserker state, we can also heal 1, so we'll heal 1. going to do 6 damage. 5, 6, and allows us to draw a card. We'll play Retreat with this green, which allows us to draw 2 cards. 1, 2. And that is the end of what we can do with our sequence because of the fact that we're in a water terrain. So we're going to end with 2. We stop moving, so we're going to lose that. Let's see what the attrition deck says. It says a 2. We've only had 1, so we are going to suffer 1 more damage. Don't have anything we can do about that. These get discarded. We did play a blue, so we removed a struggle. We draw up to 5, and he turns to the aggro player. Is it worth using our big jaws? Definitely not. That's it. Okay, Legiona. Legiona is going to move. So he will move. No, here's what's going to happen. We're going to do it in the right order. Did I play any aggro? I did play an aggro. I was going so well to start off, and now I've missed a few triggers, so I feel bad. If the active player is in the front sector, we were not when we played that card. So that's fine. And then we trigger this one, which is if there's a water terrain in the front sector, yes, unless we reveal a yellow from our hand. We had multiple yellows, so we're fine. No water triggers there. Okay. So now we are moving over here. No. First thing is we start a turn, our health is critical, so we draw. We're also going to take a wound to draw from the other thing, whatever that's called, the plant that's there. Then we'll move. So when we move, we lose our threaten. We'll go into here, and that is going to trigger this reaction. We can cancel that reaction. No, we can't. Oh, that's just ruined my day. Ruined it. It was all going so well. It's all going so well. Damn. Yeah, okay. Well, I can't do anything about that because he turns the active player. The top card in our discard pile is not a offensive card, it's Anticipate. Yep, can't do anything about it. So he turns to face. Now, that actually doesn't prevent us from hitting him, but it does mean we're not going to trigger our counters thing, which sucks. Yep. Okay, we'll check the top of our deck and see if it's a red. It's not a red. So we're just going to play Last Breath, which is a yellow card. Deal damage to the monster equal to the damage you currently sustain. We're going to discard this blue for that. So we've got 6 damage, so we're going to do 6 damage. 5, 6. Shuffle. We're then going to play Shielded Strike, which costs us 2. We can do that because of our tactician card. While you are in the front sector, all monster sides are considered to be exposed. Awesome, but yeah. So Shielded Strike will allow us to remove 2 struggle when we play it. We do need to pay for it with this attack plan. And we have our mastery, so we increase the damage this attack deals for each defense card in our sequence. So it's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7 from our Hatrox, 8 for that. We haven't finished yet, Deno, so don't do that. 8. That's an extra 8. And I think, yep, so that triggers this attack card. The active player becomes threatened. We are threatened now. And if you're in a sector with a water terrain, trigger all behaviour cards with water terrain. There is a behaviour card with a water terrain. So we will trigger that. We can't reveal yellow from our hand. How disappointing. So we will suffer damage. What we'll do is we will play our Skeletal Spear. We can exhaust it if you're in the front sector, deal 7 damage and cancel the behaviour on the card. 5, 6, 7. We're at 50 damage and we can't do anything with it. Yep, that's fine. And then we'll play this Perseverance, which is a green. Using agility allows us to draw 1. And that is unfortunately the end. We didn't play our red card in the rear, so we're going to do our attrition check. It's a 2, so we're fine on that front. At the end of the attrition phase, we flip this one. The active player is in a sector. They're immediately captured unless they reveal a green from their hand. No! Time to go look up captured. Here's captured. When you're captured, perform the following steps. Discard all cards from your hand and sequence. Boom. Place your hunter miniature on the monster board. I didn't play. Yep, so I have the aggro. End your turn, skip any phase and end of turn steps. So we don't do discard, we don't draw cards or anything like that. Play passes to the next player. So that's the end of the round. So at the end of the round, Buffhead's going to heal. We've done, oh my god, we've done 60 damage. So he's going to go down to 30. We'll move over here. We'll trigger that down. Monster upkeep. So we'll discard that card. Place a rampage. He'll gain 2 struggle. And then that's it. Okay. At the start, yeah, we cannot draw cards or consume. At the start of your next turn, perform the following steps in order. Place your hunter miniature in the front sector. Boom. Draw up to your hand size limit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Then discard cards or suffer damage equal to your weapon level. So we suffer 1 damage. Then discard the top 2 cards of your deck. That's that one. If we discard an offensive card, play your turn normally. Otherwise, skip your turn. Offense, offense. Yeah. Okay, so we play our turn normally. All right. We're going to move using a stamina. I'm going to take a punt here and say that we didn't start our turn there. We started our turn captured. So I'm going to say that we don't have to trigger that, which seems fine. So we'll move to here, discarding our token. Our health is critical, so we do draw a card. So we're going to play push, discarding faint, which allows us to draw a card, and outflank. That allows us to draw two. 1, 2. We will discard a struggle. We'll see if this is a red. It's not a red. We'll play yellow, which is a rally. When we play a blue, we can choose, players in that sector may choose to draw one or immediately move without paying any stamina cost. So I'm going to choose myself, the sector that I'm in, and I'm going to move to here. We then rally. I could have actually done that in a different way. So that's fine. I can't remember if I've rallied and drawn a card, but that's fine. So I'm now going to use this Shield Dance, which is the last card that we can play because we have a sequence of 3 because of the water. While your mastery is focused, ignore the stamina cost of this card. Increase the damage this attack deals by 3 because it is following a yellow. And that is, we've moved twice, so we don't have that. Increase the damage this attack deals by 3, so it's 7. But we have played our 4th red card in the flank, so we're going to do that. 7. Advance to stance 3 and convert damage into wounds, then remove this card from the game. So we're going to advance to stance 3. So it's 8 per player. When revealed, place a water terrain in each sector. Okay, so 8. So it's 16 to do a wound. So there's 1. And there's 2. If we unleash, we advance the round marker by 1. We do need to defeat him in 10 rounds, so that's it. All right, he is turning to face the aggro player, which is us. So he turns to face, boom. We have 1 card in our sequence, so we don't suffer damage, which is good. We have multiple cards in hand, and so we're going to gain a stamina token. We draw up to our hand size limits. The monster turns to the aggro player, which is going to trigger this one. If there is a water terrain, each player in that sector suffers damage unless they reveal a yellow from their hand. So we have a yellow here. Do we have a yellow here? We do. We then trigger this rampage. Korowon gains 1 struggle for each player in a sector with a water terrain. I'm going to cancel that behaviour card. No. I've already used that. No! All right, so what that's going to do is it's going to trigger an unleash. 1, 2, so it's going to gain 2 struggle. And then he's also going to gain 1 because he just finalised that. Oh, this is hurting. This is bad. Oh, all right. So unleash, we advance the round marker by 1. So that was done. So we each take a damage now, which is danger zone. Then we've started our turn in a water sector and we've started our turn in the front arc. So we'll do this one first. Water cycle is now not healing him, so that's fine. The active player reveals a green. There's a green. And That's it. And he gains 2 more struggle. And we have to discard a yellow from our hand. We will do that because if we don't, we are knocked out. So we'll discard that yellow. Okay. Korowon, my friend. Is that a healing plant? The Baythanis, it is a healing plant. Start of your turn, heal damage equal to your weapon level. So we will heal damage. Now, normally we would not be able to fight Korowon there. However, we are in the front sector with our tactician, which means that front sector is exposed. So we're not going to move. We're instead going to play here, aggressive charge, which is a berserker. That allows us to heal because we've played a berserker state. We'll see if this allows us to add it to our hand. Does not. We're triggering the aggro. If the active player is in the front sector, he gains a struggle. Guess what that does? Oh no, we forgot to remove that, so that's fine, but it's going to. We're 1 away from an unleash here. Another unleash, which advances the round marker. That is awfully bad. I think we have to do this. So we're going to use the Horn Walls ability. I'm going to spend a stamina token to assist here. Not what we needed. We really need to do some damage. All right, we're not triggering that, but we will trigger that at the start of the next turn. We'll play Precise Strike. That's an attack card, which allows us to draw a card. To play that, we needed to play 1, 2, 3, but we'll spend these 2 stamina and this evasive step. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. So that will deal damage to ourselves. So that's going to heal us for, so it's going to increase the damage by 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that does 9 damage. 5 and 4. 2, 3, 4. So that's 14. It's 16 to do a wound. It inflicts vulnerable. I don't think we're going to be able to maximize the vulnerable, which is a shame. We've already drawn a card. We are going to suffer a damage. So we're just going to play this maneuver to discard this, and that's it. We gain 2 stamina for starting there. Oh look, we suffer that. We would have suffered it anyway. He's not moving. We're drawing cards up to our hand limit, so we're suffering 1 damage. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we go on to the next round. Oh, this is actually, I thought we were all over this, and now this round counter is about to smash us. Because we do monster refresh, this goes away, This is over here. We add this, and then we add 2 struggle, which guess what? Takes us up to another unleash. Does what? He's only doing 1 wound though, which is I guess the thing. So when he unleashes, he tracks the round counter, and then we're going to be starting our turn in water terrain. Did we play an aggro there? We did. So he's starting the turn in the water terrain. So we will flip this, and hopefully it's not 1. Thank goodness. Korowon turns the active player. They suffer damage unless they reveal a yellow from their hand. We have a yellow. Okay. The vulnerable we do not get to leverage. We will be taking an attrition check at the start of this turn. Let's discard the top card of our deck. It's not a red, so we don't add it. Do we want to move? No. We'll do a counter strike, which is a yellow. We'll spend 1 of our stamina. We'll play Wrath of Blood, and again we can do that without moving because of our Tactician. If your health is critical, increase the damage this attack deals by 5. So that's 5 plus 4 is 9. Increase the damage by 3. That's 12. 1, 2. So 16 down to 3. So it's just a 10 left. Sequence of 3 is so punishing. And yeah, we'll play Guardian Blade and we will discard our stamina. At the end of your action phase, choose another player to draw 1 for each aggro in your sequence. There's 2. I've got 2 cards in hand, so I'm going to keep my 2 stamina. We're going to flip 2 of these because we're threatened. It's a 0 and a 1, so we suffer no damage. We could also heal at the start of our turn from the Bethanus, which is in that sector. At the attrition phase, we flip this. We can reveal a green from our hand. We have Final Breath, so that's fine. We're triggering a Rampage. He's gaining 2 struggle. Stop it. And guess what? He's gaining 1 more struggle. He's got 5 struggle. We've got to control that struggle, Deno. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's awful. All right. So we draw up to our hand limit. 1, 2, 3. We have an assist. So we are going to have to do some serious damage because we've only got 2 more turns. We need to clear that blue is what we need. Okay. Okay. So we start our turn. We are going to flip this. But we are going to heal 1. He's going to gain struggle, which is another unleash. So we gain a damage, we heal a damage. Gain a damage, heal a damage over here. The unleash takes him to turn 9, and that has happened in an absolute flash. So that's it. We're going to play Golden Opportunity. It's a blue. Choose a player to reveal up to 2 reds from their hand and deal their weapon damage for each card revealed this way. We will choose Darion. Believe it or not, that's actually 12 damage because his weapon has +2 damage. So he has absolutely done it. We're 22 from 16, which leaves 6. Another wound. Removed a struggle. We're also going to play Tempo which removes another struggle, which is free. Do we need to do that now? I don't know. We draw a card because we started our turn there. Yep, okay, that was the right play. And we'll check if that's a red. It's not a red. We're going to play concentrated attack. And again, I'll just remind us, we can do that with Tactician, which is awesome. Actually, we might use this Tactician card when we played our blue. We probably don't want to move actually because we'll trigger that movement card. If we hold on for one turn, we'll get rid of that. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Concentrated attack. It costs us 2. Here is our 2, which is an assist card. Damage dealt is increased by 1. So choose another player. Increase the damage this attack deals by 1 for each red in that player's discard pile. If this attack inflicts a wound, inflict vulnerable. 1 red, 2 red, 3 red, 3 red. So this attack is 3, 7. I don't think we have anything else we can add to that. Oh yeah, 8 because of the assist. So 8 and 6 is 14. So we're 1 short on 2 short on triggering a wound. So we can still afford to take a wound here. So that triggers this red. Let's have a look at what the red does. The active player becomes threatened. There are none of those, and so that is fine. We'll just do a rapid dash. It's a red. While this card is the top card of your discard pile, all other players' weapons, it's just going to do 4 damage, which is going to do 1 more wound. And leave us with 1 turn to do 14 wounds. Okay, we finish our turn. We've got 2 blues. We're obviously triggering a wound, which we will take at the end of the round. So we discard up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think we're fine now. I think we can do this. So let's start the round. We go over here. It's round 10. We do monster refresh. We do consume first. We're going to consume our ale more. I'd prefer not to, but it's not worth the risk of dying. Yep, so monster refresh. So we're going to clear the lowest one of these, which is this move. We're going to place this water one here. We are then going to gain 2 struggle, which takes us to 3 struggle. And we then start our turn with the movement phase. Lejonar has the initiative. So he's going to trigger both of these. We'll do this one first. Suffers damage unless he discards a yellow from his hand. He's okay with that. He'll suffer damage. And then we'll trigger... so that's a shame. So what happens now? Because we've activated that one, we place this rampage in play. So this will go here. Activate. We can reveal a yellow. So that's fine. We'll do that. And then he gains 1 struggle for each player in a water terrain, so he's up to 5 struggle. That could have been the end of us. But instead, we're going to do it by the very skin of our teeth. All right, so he's going to remove a struggle. Boom. By playing tempo, remove a struggle. He's then going to do a shielded strike. No, he'll do last breath, which is deal damage to the monster equal to the damage you currently sustain. We'll do that at a cost 2. We're not moving again. So we're currently sustaining 7 damage. So we'll do 7 takes us to 9. Then we'll do this shielded strike. It's costing us 2. We'll pay that and that. We remove 2 struggle. 1, 2. From that, we do damage 4. We also gained a card in our thing. That's fine. We healed 1 at the start of our turn from starting the thing. No worries. 4, 5, which takes us to 14. And we need to do 2 damage. Going to gain a struggle. We played an aggro, so we're triggering this one. The active player is in the front sector. When we played that blue, we were moving over here to the to this because we can move. Each player may immediately move without paying any stamina cost. How good's that? Yep, so that one does nothing. He turns to us unless we discard a blue from our hand. That's fine. In the attrition phase, he does that one. We do have a green in our hand. But we're actually fine to be captured. Oh no, we're on top of the thing, so we can jump down on him. No, I don't think we can. The timing of that is not quite right. But we're captured, so we're sitting inside the monster. That triggers a rampage. He's gaining 1 struggle for each player in a sector with a water terrain. Have a look at that. We've got 5 struggle. And he turns to face the aggro player. He stays where he is. We need to do 2 damage. We've done this this has been awesome. Oh my God. Blind Rage, 4 damage, 6 damage, dead. On the 10th turn. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that guy's so fun. We've got to control the struggle better. That's a lesson for Big Deno moving forward to this game. Control struggle better. That guy and the big rock head were all about struggle control. So that is fun. That was incredible. That was such a good fight. I've been enjoying this game a lot. It's been consuming a lot of my thought process and time. So yeah, I'm quite excited for continuing this campaign. So we used our Aylmore, we used our Hatrox. We kept our Erden, which is good, so we don't have to spend as many things for that. That Tactician ability was just really powerful. Really, really powerful. Yeah, and the Berserker, they're great. They're great cards. I'm super happy with my choices. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the campaign book, because we successfully defeated encounter number 3, which is called the Roar of the Sea. So encounter 3 says, some fun conclusions, crest rewards on page 106. The Roar of the Sea. We gain Coral Forge, we gain crafting and plant resources, and then we gain the achievement Calm the Sea. Cool. So let's nip over to our screen that should be live right now. There it is. And you can see me. So we are going to choose and complete a quest. We're going to choose, I feel like that looks a bit better, yeah. So we're going to choose and complete quest, the Roar of the Sea. We've unlocked the Coral Forge, we've earned an achievement, gain all those, confirm. And then I'll very briefly read chapter 4 because we've got a couple of new scenarios, so I'll do that now and I'll come back. We've unlocked the Coral Forge and we've leveled all of our forgers and herbalists up to level 2, and we have revealed a few new quests for us to do. I've got good news and bad news for me. These are the 3 quests we've got: the Iron Eater, the City of Remembrance, and the Cave of Stars. 0 of those models are painted, so Big Deno's got a busy time ahead before we can get on to the next campaign story. But that was it. I will be diving in deep into level 2 stuff and see what that does. And we will prepare for our very first level 2 fight starting in the next episode. So I look forward to seeing you all then. Big Deno out.